Happy Wednesday, Valerie Hunt, RunRx, Ask Me Anything. I'm happy to be here today, and I have this little fun setup because I had some reach outs specifically about running up and down hills and also height of pulling the foot. So by the way, you're always welcome to post a question here under this video itself, or even post a question on the page, and I will get to your question the following week. So I answer questions every Wednesday. And also, some of the things that we do is if you are looking to get back into running. So running pain-free is always the primary goal of RunRx. So I give you little tips to try that. So we have skill, strength, and self-care. So if you're just getting into running or you're just finding out, you just found us at RunRx, go to the YouTube channel and we've got a 30-day RunRx reboot. It's a lot of fun to follow. And also, if you are having a pain in your run, go to our website and take the quiz. So it's got questions on, is it hip, is it shin, is it plantars, what's going on? And then again, we give you a little tip on how to get started and maybe manage to alleviate some discomfort just by changing your movement, making it more efficient. And then of course we have a membership where you actually come all the way in and you send me your run and your check-ins, and it's 12 weeks of coaching to learn your running movements or technique, if you will. So what is this about? I'm going to start right here, since people are always asking about hills, and I think that there's a little bit of anxiety with the hill. Healthy, I used to live in Austin, Texas, where it was just hill country, and now I live in Dallas where it's flatlands. And so when we have hills, I get excited, but it's also like, this is different. Whereas I used to run specifically looking for hills. But the fun part about running is running is running is running. And so whether I'm running uphill, running downhill, running down a straight road, the movement of running is still running. So what I want to help you with is helping you to understand how you could actually use less effort in your run. Because if I know there's an uphill coming, I kind of prepare for it mentally, right? In fact, the first time I ran the Dallas Marathon, it used to be called the White Rock Marathon, and everyone said, oh, it's got these two hills at the end, so the whole run, I'm like, oh. Or if you run Boston, Heartbreak Hill. So I just feel like hills themselves have a kind of an exciting element to the run. So here's the fun thing with hills. Now, just to be fair with runners, most of us suffer more cardio on the uphill, right? And then downhill suffering is like in the legs. So one of the things to keep in mind is that once I correct my running, then whether I'm going uphill or downhill, it will simply be a minor adjustment. So it just changes kind of how you'll see the hill. So first of all, here's my hill, right? So I'm at the top of the hill. So what I want to show you is that if I am a person that tries to run by reaching or pushing, say here's the hill. So a lot of people will say lean into the hill. I hear this a lot. So okay, I'm gonna lean. So leaning to me is like hinging at the waist. And then lean and then push to drive up the hill. So I'm gonna push my back foot and here I am. So I got up to the top of the hill, but now what? Now I'm stuck. So unfortunately, that's not the way to approach a hill. The fun part about going uphill is the ground is coming up to meet you. So you actually have to do really a little bit of nothing. And what that means is this. If I keep my knees bent and instead of leaning, use gravity and fall forward with your hips, and instead of pushing, I pull, then I will literally fall and pull. And you see, I could either keep traveling up, if up is where I'm going, or if I'm about to go down, I can go down simply by holding my shoulders over my hips and just pulling my foot down. So what happens is whether I'm going uphill or downhill, what am I adjusting? I'm adjusting my angle of fall to either take advantage, like uphill, I want to really use it, right? But I'm still not working harder with my legs. I simply pull my foot up from the ground to recover that running pose. Same thing on the way down. If I'm going to go down a hill and I think, ooh, I really want to get there, so I reach my foot out, I'm doing the same exact thing, except now, instead of when I was here like this, which this is for a lot of people where they end up uphill, like they think they're supposed to lean, and then their feet are behind them like this. It's like a 30-pound weight on your ankle. Then they go down the hill and they go like this. I'm going down the hill, and all of a sudden your legs are way out here in front of you. What corrects both movements, going uphill or downhill, is simply holding your shoulders over hips and pulling your foot up from the ground. So if I just do little small pulls in response to whether I'm going up or downhill, I'm going to reduce impact by 53%, save my joints, and then if it's a straight road, I don't have to worry about it at all. I just have to hold that angle of fall. So if I start to let go of the extra work or extra things we think we need to do, and then start practicing what would actually benefit me in the hill would be, now, keep this in mind, there's some great drills, and going up and down hills is great for your training. It's just doing it correctly, or using stairs or a curve. Simply practicing quick pulls while holding your shoulders over your hips will make you better uphill, downhill, straight roads, trail running, because I'm doing two things. And get your heart rate up. Teaching yourself how to hold ears, shoulders, hips in line is going to be, you need it for life. Because honestly, every movement you do, sitting, walking, swimming, whatever you want to be doing, this alignment is going to be what you need. Like, no one says, hey, when you're standing up, bend at the waist. So why would you do that when you were running? See what I mean? And no one ever says to you, hey, when you stand, try to hold your shoulders really far back here and put a lot of stress on your back. So then why do we do that when we run? Isn't that interesting? And you may not know you're doing that, by the way. Many of us, when we run, we think I'm running, and I think my shoulders are over my hips, but they're actually behind. I just didn't know it. Or I don't realize I was bending at the waist until I feel my lower back or my IT band. So just correcting this line, it's just like I have a skewer running through my head, right? Ears, shoulders, hips, lift ankle, one line. If I just practice the running pose itself, it will help me to hold that line. So if I'm holding this line and doing drills like runs on a curve, or even like I do these, forward and back, what you start to do is develop your ability to hold this line and your muscle elasticity. So for a lot of us, on an uphill, for example, or if I'm tired or fatigued, say in a long run, and you feel like your legs are like, oh, my legs are heavy, right? I'm going uphill, I'm like, oh, my legs are heavy, my legs are heavy. Well, that's because instead of using muscle elasticity, you're using an active muscle contraction. Remember what I said? If you're hinged at the waist and your foot's behind you, it's like a 30-pound weight on your ankle. Your hamstring's like, oh, and then we're adding so much more work. Or if I'm on the ground too long, I can't use I can't use elasticity, because if I'm on the ground, I'm pushing. So you just starting to do little things, like I said, little movement, smaller movements, practicing what's called a quick change of support, meaning here's my support foot. It's my foot, pull, pull. What's my job in my run? It's to pull my foot once my body has fallen. So a lot of us are missing this. So if you come at me with questions like, my calves are hurting, my legs are tired, somebody told me I feel like I can't keep up with falling, I'm over falling. So these are great questions, because to me they mean, oh, they're thinking, they're trying. I love that. So if I feel like I'm kicking, or I feel like, anything behind me, you're simply, instead of falling, you're doing what's called bending. So again, I have to do things like find a wall, just a regular wall, and practice. What does it feel like to simply free fall? We don't talk about it in running. It's not a conversation I see anywhere else. So nobody talks about it. However, all of the natural talented runners, the elites, they are falling at like degrees of really good. Like yesterday, was it yesterday, Des Linden broke a world record, female world record for the 50K sub, 3 hour 50K. It was a 5-something pace, and I, of course, watched her running, and she's holding like this, like an 18-degree angle of fall for 3 solid hours, right? The average recreational runner, when they send me a gait analysis, all of us have 22.5 degrees available of fall or face plant. Most people are using 0 to like 2 when they send in their video. And every degree of fall that you add to your run, especially starting at 0, is not just going to make you faster, but it's going to reduce impact. That means you're just simply spending time on the ground when you could be traveling, right? If you watch these people when they run, start to note, look instead of anything else, count their steps, up, 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 up. Start to see that they're in a rhythm of keeping up. They're all holding their body in this great line. They fall, and the rest of their run is timing. Holding that is an incredible skill that they work on, obviously, and so can you. But the fun part is I don't have to go run 3 hours to do that. I can practice right here. I can stand in this line, and I will increase strength. I will increase my balance. I will increase my ability to do this. You can find a wall, practice what it actually feels like to accelerate, and then find a little spot, go run, and feel it. It's amazing how it starts to become. Remember, running is the same step over and over, around 1,500 steps a mile. So the more steps I do correctly, the better the mile. And so there's so much fun to be had in your run. There's probably more potential than you ever thought, just simply because shifting the way you think about running will change the way you also move in your run. So then the next time you see a hill, you're like, ooh, a hill. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to really press my hips forward, and I'm going to keep my pulls quick and low. My cadence should go up as I go up the hill, because remember, the ground is coming to meet me. So now all of a sudden I'm going up the hill like, not so bad. I see a downhill. Instead of panicking and trying to hit the brakes down the hill, I'll relax, bend my knees, hold shoulders over hips, and enjoy myself down the hill. As I get more comfortable playing with my falling, you can fall further and run faster. Your cadence will go up, or you can just hang out. But like I said, it's not about my speed, it's about my ability to just allow myself to use gravity. It's already happening. All of this is already happening. You just have to kind of come in and jump in for the ride. So whether you're just getting started, dealing with an injury, it is just amazing how short amounts of intent practice with intent, will make a change in your run. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to see one more question. Okay. If I've never been a runner and you have so many videos, should I just start off with running even if it's a little bit painful? Okay, see, it's kind of what I just talked about. No, please don't run if it's painful. Then how would you like to run? You know, if someone said to me, I've never been running before, and every time I saw them, they're like, man, I just went running. Oh, my hips. Woo, I just went running. My hips, my hamstrings, just went for a run. I'd be like, well, that doesn't sound like that much fun to me, right? So I should feel like I just finished a run. So excited about it. Now, let me just say this. I do love to run. It's not always also about racing, right? So if I've never run before, you know, a lot of people do this. I've never run before. I'm going to sign up for a marathon. I'm like, no. Sign up with RunRx and then sign up for a marathon. If I've never ever run before, go through the reboot, you know, and start with what is running. Because first, what is running? If running is hurting, then I'm probably not running, because running should not hurt. Running should only hurt here, like breathing. So if running is hurting your legs, please avoid running for right now and go into learning to run. And I'm telling you, use your body and get to know it too. Like, for example, what is the running pose? Most people don't even know that, and they're trying to go running. What is your action in running? They don't know. It's pulling. I didn't know. In fact, when I very first started running, I was an aerobics teacher, taught personal trainer, gym rat, started running, and so I went to the running shoe store, and the guy was like, yeah, you just put your shoes on, and you push off the back and reach with the front. I did that. I got shin splints, I got plantar fasciitis, I got stress fractures. So I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. And so I'm telling you, connecting with what running is and the movement of it is what brings the joy in your run. I promise you that. And whether you want to go for, qualify for Boston, or whether you just want to go run down the street and have a good time, it's the same. It's still running. Now my goals might be different, but I still have the same goal of wanting to get there and not hurting. So do yourself that favor. Go through the practice. Teach yourself the running pose. Play with gravity. It is a lot of fun. It's there for you. Learning how to pull is very simple. You can do it in place. And then sky's the limit, right? But if you start by practicing, and it's like anything else. I always go back to, I have a child. If she said, hey mom, I really want to learn how to play golf, I'll be like, all right, let's sign up for a lesson. Because I don't know how to play golf either. So I'm going to let someone show her that maybe knows how to do it, so she doesn't just stand there with the ball and the golf club and we just kind of stand there. See what I mean? But somehow we've been taught that it's so strange to need a running lesson. You should just put your shoes on. Go. And unfortunately, it's not like that. So let go of that, because who cares? And why not get better at something and have more fun with it, right? So go through the practice, guys. If you haven't been, checked out my YouTube channel, RunRx YouTube. And yes, there's a ton of videos. And we have a great team, the whole RunRx team. We have been working so hard. They've been working hard on organizing. If you go to the channel, it's got frequently asked questions. It's got what if I can't run and I just need to walk. So many of these questions are already there. And honestly, my goal for you guys is to want to go running and love running and know that yes, you can run pain-free. And once you're running pain-free, then we can hit that next goal, which is whatever distance and speed and all of that. But first, just make it to where you actually go, wow, running itself's not so bad. It doesn't have to hurt. As always, thank you. And like I said, put questions under. You can ask questions here. Tag me, tag RunRx or tag Valerie Hunt, either one, so I see the question. And love the feedback, so please give it. And if you go through the YouTube, let me know. Let's keep in touch. Let me know how it's going, guys. Have a great day.